You gotta pay that guy $10 million. Ryan stood up from the couch and looked over at Hugh. Hugh stood frozen in place. He can't do it, someone else yelled. His family's company really is going bankrupt. Oh no, another person said. I've got stock in there. I need to pull it out now. Hugh snapped out of his daze. No, that's not true. We just had to liquidate a few assets, that's all. The company is strong. Yeah, right, pal. I'm calling my broker. Hugh was in a panic. He ran over to one of the computers at the front desk and started typing. Ryan, come here, he called. Ryan casually weaved his way through the crowd and walked up to the desk. Yes, Hugh? What can I do for you? Quick, give me your banking information. I'll wire you the $10 million right away. That way everyone will see that my family's company isn't failing. Why, that's mighty generous of you, Hugh. Give me a moment to pull up my info. Ryan casually pulled his phone out of his pocket and started tapping the screen. Hurry, Hugh said. Every second you delay does more damage to my family's reputation. Well, we wouldn't want that, would we? Ryan said. He tapped the screen a few more times. Here we go. Give me the account information. Hurry. Ryan relayed his account information to Hugh. $10 million wasn't a huge sum of money for Ryan, but he wanted to make Hugh pay for convincing Mary he was having an affair. A few minutes later, the money cleared into Ryan's account. Got it, Hugh. Thanks a bunch. Wait, you have to tell everyone that I paid you. Make sure they know my family isn't going bankrupt. Ryan patted Hugh on the cheek. Sure thing, champ. He turned to the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, I can confirm that the $10 million has been deposited into my account. So while Hugh Zimmer may be a conniving little weasel, his family's business is still going strong. Hugh's head sank, and he quietly slithered off to the back office while the hotel staff dealt with a rush of people trying to check out and get rebooked at other hotels. 2 hours later, every guest was gone. The only people left in the lobby were Hugh Zimmer, Chad Baker, Andrew Carter, and Ryan. Hugh sat on a couch, staring off into space and shaking his head. Gone. All gone. Carter pulled Chad off to the side. How did he do it? How did that guy shut this entire place down with a single phone call? Chad crossed his arms, looked down at the floor, and shook his head. Then his head shot up. He didn't. What do you mean? It's impossible. Ryan Quinn is a nobody. But he's married into the Lowell family. They've got all sorts of business interests. The Lowells could never pull off something like this, Chad said dismissively. That old biddy who runs the show, Evelyn Lowell, she's just a dried-up old hag. She doesn't have this kind of power. Well, someone does, and Ryan Quinn tapped into it. Chad shook his head. No. Must have been some kind of inside information. He already knew the hotel was going to be shut down. He just played it off like he was the one who got it done. It was a bluff. Are you sure? It's the only explanation.
Springing the trap.
Carter looked cautiously over toward Ryan. Still, maybe we should think twice before crossing this guy. Nonsense. I vowed to put this nobody in his place for what he did to my brother. And that's exactly what I intend to do. Chad walked up to Ryan with Carter following close behind. Good show, Ryan. Very impressive little trick you just pulled. Ryan sat on the couch smiling. He didn't answer. Think you've got another trick up your sleeve? Chad asked. What did you have in mind, Chad? Well, you may have put this poor Hugh Zimmer chap in his place, but nothing has changed for you and Mary. You've still got to sign a deal with me, or Granny Evelyn takes everything. And I'm not so sure I'm still in a deal-making mood. Ryan stood up slowly and faced off with Chad. You never had any intention of actually closing a deal, did you? You want to see Mary's family destroyed. Chad put his hand to his heart. Ryan, that's a hurtful thing to say. Besides, if anyone is destroying Mary's family, it's you. Honestly, sleeping with her cousin? That's just plain awful. Spare me, Chad. You're just as bad as your brother. Not true. My brother is an unscrupulous sort, whereas I am a man of my word. Ryan snorted. I'll tell you what, Chad said. I'm going to close that deal with Mary before Evelyn has her removed from the family business. In fact, I'm going to make a big show of it. Are you familiar with the King's Club? Sure. A stuffy, ancient club for stuffy, ancient rich people. Not so. I'm a member of that club, as is Mr. Carter here, and I would hardly consider either one of us to be stuffy or ancient. What's your point, Chad? I would like to hold a formal signing ceremony at the King's Club the day after tomorrow. Why do I care where you sign your contracts? Because there's a catch, Chad said with a twinkle in his eye. You've had a lot of fun playing the big shot here today, making everyone think you had the juice to shut this place down with a single phone call. Well, I'm calling your bluff. The King's Club is an exclusive establishment. No one can simply buy their way in. They must be considered worthy of membership. So if you can gain entry into that club for the signing, we'll close the deal. But if you can't get in, then the deal is off. What do you say, sport? Ryan scratched his chin. I say it sounds like a really boring way to spend an evening, but sure, I'm in. Ryan and Chad shook on it. Wonderful. Then I look forward to seeing you there. Chad started to walk toward the front door, then turned and said, Oh, and Ryan, if you do somehow manage to gain entrance into the club, bear in mind that there's a dress code. Thanks, Chad. Is there also a jerk code? Chad smiled at Ryan, then turned and left. Carter looked Ryan up and down one last time, then followed Chad out of the building. Ryan walked over to Hugh and sat down next to him. Hugh was still staring off into space. Sorry about your hotel, Hugh, and the 10 million. I know that makes for a pretty rough day. How? Hugh said absently. How do you keep doing this? You know, Hugh, now might be a good time to start reevaluating some of your life choices. I'm worried you might have a gambling problem. Ryan patted Hugh on the shoulder and left him in his empty lobby. Mary had taken the car when she stormed out of the hotel, so Ryan had to take the train back to Wellesley. It was late when he got to the house, and all the lights were up. He walked inside quietly, tiptoed up the stairs, and crept into his bedroom. Mary was under the covers. He closed the door behind him, sat on the bed, and turned the light on. I'm sleeping, Mary said, her face buried in the pillow. No, you're not. I don't want to talk right now. Well, that's too bad, because we need to. Mary sat up and faced him. Why did you not tell me you were at Cindy's apartment? It just didn't come up. We needed to focus on what was happening with Chad and Carter. But why did you go to Cindy's apartment in the first place? I told you. I ran into her at Quinn headquarters. It was right after Chad had told you that Andrew Carter was using this deal as a way to try and sleep with you. I was upset. I went to talk to Rourke to see if I could get any dirt on Carter, and I ran into Cindy. Like, literally. I smashed into her and sent her falling to the ground. Okay? She could see I was upset, so she suggested we go talk. I assumed we'd go somewhere public, but her place is around the corner and it's quieter, so she insisted we go there. I was inside for all of 2 minutes before this Hugh Zimmer guy shows up professing his love for her. Why were you in Cindy's bedroom? She asked me to hide there. She didn't want me getting involved. She was afraid I'd hurt the guy if I stepped in. Did you? Ryan shrugged. I might have caused him to toss his lunch up onto his shoes. Mary shook her head. Oh, Ryan. Mary, look at me. Nothing happened. Nothing ever could happen. He would never cheat on you. You know that. I'm not that guy. She slowly nodded her head. I know. They sat in silence for a few moments. Mary reached over and took his hand. Okay, Ryan said. Now that that's settled, I'm getting ready for bed. It's been a long day. Yeah. Why were you out so late? I had a few loose ends. Did you talk to Chad? Are they still willing to make a deal? They are, but there's a hitch. I'll tell you about it in the morning.
Not so clever now.
Well, it better not be too big of a hitch. Grandma Evelyn called today. She wants another family meeting at her estate tomorrow morning. Ryan looked up to the ceiling. Oh, joy. It was another long, gloomy drive to Grandma Evelyn Lowell's estate up in Manchester by the sea. Even the Christmas lights hanging in store windows and traffic lights couldn't lift the spirits of Ryan's wife and his in-laws. Ryan's sister-in-law, Carrie, was the first to break the silence in the car. Why do we always have to go to Grandma Evelyn's creepy old mansion for these meetings? Couldn't we just do this over Zoom? Grandma Evelyn doesn't know how to use Zoom, her sister Mary said. So why doesn't our cousin Wallace just set it at 4 or something? He's always looking for a way to suck up to her. This is a power move, Ryan said from the driver's seat. Evelyn wants these meetings on her turn, gives her a home field advantage. No one asked you to chime in, Ryan's mother-in-law Martha scolded from the backseat. Mary turned around to face her mother. Mother, don't start. We talked about this. Fine, whatever. Sorry. Martha folded her arms and clamped her mouth shut. Do we know who's going to be at the meeting? Ryan asked Mary. No idea. Wallace, obviously. Gary's right. He never misses an opportunity to stick his nose up Grandma's backside. Martha slapped Mary's arm. They pulled through the wrought iron gates of Evelyn's mansion, parked in the large, circular driveway, and got out. Carrie looked around. Why does it feel like it's always cold and foggy when we come here? Seriously, it could be in the middle of summer and it still looks like this. I think Grandma Evelyn is a witch, or something that rhymes. Said, the two of you, knock it off, Martha scolded. This is still your grandmother you're talking about. Show some respect. Oh, cut it out, Mother, Carrie said. You can't stand her any more than we can. But I still respect her. My goodness, where did I go wrong with you two? A butler greeted them outside and led them into the mansion. They passed through the massive foyer and walked into the grand meeting hall. As expected, Wallace was already there, sitting up close to Grandma Evelyn's throne-like, high-backed chair. His father Ernie was there too. Ryan and his in-laws, Martha, Charles, Carrie, and his wife Mary, sat near the back of the room. They didn't bother to greet Wallace or Ernie. Another butler appeared from the other side of the room. Ladies and gentlemen, your matriarch, Evelyn Lowell. Everyone stood. Evelyn entered the room, wearing her usual satin house robe. Ryan rolled his eyes at the whole ridiculous spectacle. "You may be seated, everyone," Evelyn said as she ascended her throne. She squinted toward the back of the room. "Why are you all sitting so far away? Closer, so I don't have to shout." They all stood up and moved to the front of the room, avoiding eye contact with Wallace and his father, Ernie. Once everyone was seated again, Evelyn continued. "Now, the purpose of this meeting is to discuss the potential partnership between the Lowell Corporation and the Carter Group, as proposed by Chad Baker. As you know, this partnership is critical to the survival of our organization. It is only by branching out and partnering with as many companies as possible that we can survive the various financial crises which plague us. Mary, what is the status of the deal?" Mary rose to address Evelyn. "Grandma Evelyn, we had what I would consider to be a very productive meeting last night, but a deal has not been struck at this time." "Why not?" "There are still many questions surrounding this deal, not the least of which is whether or not we can trust Chad Baker. He has proven in the past that he does not have our best interests at heart, and I feel it would be better not to associate." Evelyn leaned forward and spoke with a grave tone. "Child, were my opening remarks unclear? We must diversify." "Your words were clear, Grandma, but I believe there are other opportunities for diversification. And even if there weren't, our current partnership with the Quinn organization has already put us on stronger financial footing than we've had for years. I've told you my feelings about relying too heavily on the Quinns, child." "Yes, you have, Grandma, but I need to say this in the strongest possible terms." Mary stepped closer to Evelyn. "We cannot trust Chad Baker. And if he's this deep into a partnership with Andrew Carter, then I don't think we can trust Carter either." "Oh, this is ridiculous," Wallace cried, rising from his seat. "Don't you see what's going on here, Gam? She can't get a deal done, so she's trying to make excuses. Chad outright told me that Andrew Carter was only considering this deal as a means of sleeping with me." The room went silent. "Is this true?" Evelyn asked. "That Chad said that?" "Yes," Mary replied. "Whether or not Chad was telling the truth, I can't say. But either way, it's a serious problem. I don't see how I can enter into an arrangement with a person who would say something like that, true or not." Evelyn clutched at her pearls and stared off to the side. Gam, I can get the deal done," Wallace said. "Give me back control of Lowell Tech. I'll meet with Chad Baker and Andrew Carter and finish what Mary couldn't." Evelyn continued to stare into the distance. "I don't like the idea of someone trying to use their power to seduce a member of my family." "Exactly, Grandma," Mary said, a note of hope rising in her voice. "These are not ethical people. We don't need them to grow our business. There are other companies out there, other deals to be made. Please, let's forget about Chad Baker and Andrew Carter and look for better opportunities." Evelyn closed her eyes tightly. When she opened them again, her look of resolve had returned. "No, I want this deal. Mary, you have until tomorrow evening to make it happen. If you can't do it, then I give control of Lowell Tech and CLM Financial back to your cousin Wallace." "But Grandma, my word is final," Evelyn said, rising from her chair. "You have one more day." One of her butlers came and walked her out of the room. Wallace turned to Mary and smirked at her. "Nice try, Mary. Playing the woman card." Mary turned to him slowly. "What did you say?" "Oh, Grandma, the big bad men were trying to take advantage of me. You know what it's like being a woman in this business." Ryan stood up and moved toward Wallace. Mary held her hand out to stop him. "You'd better watch what you say, Wallace," Mary warned. "There are lines you don't want to cross." "No, I'd say there are lines that you don't want to cross." which is a pity. It might be the only way you can get this deal done. I'm warning you, Wallace. Come on, cousin. You don't have the heart for this kind of work. You don't have the brains either. Maybe the one thing you have that can help you get ahead is between your legs. That's it, Wallace. Before Mary could finish her thought, Wallace was sailing across the room. She looked over and saw Ryan standing where Wallace had been a moment ago, his right hand clenched in a fist. "What did you do?" Mary said. Ernie cried out, "Wallace!" and ran over to his son. He cradled Wallace's head and tapped him lightly on the cheek a few times. "Wallace, are you okay?" Wallace turned his head a couple of times and tried to answer, but his voice only came out as a moan. "You piece of filth! You punched my son!" Ernie shrieked at Ryan. Ryan stood firm, staring at Wallace and breathing heavily. "Are you even going to do anything?" Ernie yelled. All eyes turned to Martha. "Don't look at me," Martha said. "For once, I agree with Ryan. Anyone talks to my daughter like that deserves to get knocked out." Ernie sneered at them. "Oh, this is just perfect. I've always known your family was low class. This just proves it. You're all a bunch of animals." Charles walked towards his brother. "Hold it there, Ernie. I may not like violence, but you little boy was out of line. I won't stand by and let someone speak to my daughter that way." Evelyn came back into the meeting room as fast as her bony little legs would carry her. "What is going on in here? What's all this racket?" Ernie pointed at Ryan as he cradled Wallace's head. "Mother, that animal attacked my boy." Wallace started to regain consciousness. Gam, are you there?" There was a huge red mark on the left side of Wallace's face. It was going to turn into a nasty bruise. "You," Evelyn said, pointing her cane at Ryan. "You dare to attack my grandchild in my house?" "Your grandchild disrespected my wife," Ryan said, "who, in case you have forgotten, is also your grandchild and deserving of your respect." Evelyn flinched. "And now you take that sort of tone with me? Just what do you think gives you the right?" "Mother," Charles said in a much sterner voice than was usual for him, "Wallace told my daughter that the only tool she had to forge a deal was between her legs. He said this to my daughter." Evelyn looked at the faces staring back at her. No one disputed what Charles told her. "Ernie, is this true?" Evelyn asked. Ernie sputtered. "Well, yes, but, well, he was only kidding." "Kidding?" Evelyn said, her voice rising. "Do you know how many times in my life I've had to hold my tongue while a man tried to use my sex against me? Do you know all of the crude comments I've had to pretend not to hear? Do you know how many men have told me the only way I could be hired or promoted is if I subjected myself to their sexual desires? Do you?" "No, Mother," Ernie said softly, his head dropping low. "No, you don't. You can never know what that feels like." She turned to Ryan. "I will forgive your outburst this one time." Ryan nodded. Gam, Wallace said weakly, his body still lying on the floor while his father cradled his head. "You can't let him get away with this." "Shut up, Wallace," Evelyn said. "I'll deal with you later." Mary stepped forward. "Grandma, having been through all you've been through, can you see now why I can't enter into a partnership with Chad Baker and Andrew Carter? I would be compromising my values. The very values that you instilled in me." Evelyn regarded Mary silently for a moment. "You make a good point, child, and I sympathize with you. But on this point, I must stand firm. You have one more day to finalize this deal." "What?" Carrie screamed from behind Mary. "Grandma, that's total BS, and you know it." "Carrie." "Hush," Martha said. Call it what you will, young lady, Evelyn said. But once I've made a decision, that decision is final. I cannot turn back. Carrie threw her hands in the air. I don't believe this. This whole family is insane. She stormed out of the meeting room. One more day, Mary, Evelyn said. Her voice was firm, but there was a trace of sadness in it. I wish you good luck. Evelyn turned and headed for the door. Ernie, drag your son into the parlor. I wish to have a word with him. Mary, Charles, and Martha looked around at each other. So now what? Martha said to the group. No one had an answer. The ride back from Grandma Evelyn's estate in Manchester by the Sea was as quiet as the ride up. Once again, it was Carrie who broke the silence. This time by laughing. Mary turned and looked at her in the back seat. What? I can't believe Ryan knocked out Cousin Wallace, Carrie blurted out. Ryan smiled to himself as he drove his wife and his in-laws home. I mean, one punch and Wallace was across the room. Man. All right, Carrie, her mother Martha scolded. We were all there. We don't need a recap. And Mom, I can't believe you took Ryan's side. You're always ready to toss him out of the house if you think he so much as makes the toast too dry. But he clobbers Wallace at Grandma Evelyn's house, and you're all like, well, Wallace had it coming. Wallace did have it coming, and I'm not on Ryan's side. Okay, Mom, whatever. And he does make the toast too dry. The car fell silent. Mary leaned over to Ryan and said, Thanks for sticking up for me. What else did you expect? He said. Wallace was out of line. I wasn't going to let him talk to you that way. I don't care whose house we were in. Mary smiled and held onto his hand. Martha rolled her eyes in the back seat. Of course, it doesn't solve the current problem, Mary said. Evelyn's not going to let go of this thing. I still have to strike a deal with Chad Baker and Andrew Carter, even though I know I can't trust Chad. And the jury is still out on Carter, Ryan said. I haven't been able to get a read on that guy. Maybe he wants to make a legitimate business deal, or maybe he really is just trying to sleep with you. I can't tell. So where does that leave us? Ryan thought for a moment. They said they were willing to strike a deal tomorrow at the banquet at that fancy King's Club. But only if you could gain entry. Which you can't, Martha said from the backseat. The event is invitation only, and you don't have one. So we're doomed. I'll find a way in, Ryan said. Martha snorted at him and turned to look out the window. My mom has a point, Mary said. The King's Club has this whole secret society thing going on. If you're not on the list and you're not a member, there's nothing you can do or say that will get you in. And no way you can bribe them, Martha said. Then she mumbled under her breath. Not that you have the money anyway. Ryan took his eyes off the road for a second and looked Mary in the eye. I'll find a way in. Later that night, Chad Baker sat in front of the fireplace at his Boston condo, drinking a glass of scotch, when he got a call from the doorman. "Yes?" Baker said. "There's a gentleman here to see you, sir," the doorman answered. Yes, send him right up." A minute later, there was a knock on Chad's door. Chad strolled over lazily and opened it. In the doorway stood Hugh Zimmer, looking miserable. "Hugh, how good of you to come. Please, step inside." Hugh walked into Chad's apartment with his head hanging pitifully low. "Can I offer you something to drink? I have a 21-year-old single malt scotch." Hugh nodded sadly. Drink'd be good. Chad stepped over to the bar and poured a glass, as Hugh sank into an upholstered armchair. "Here you are," Chad said, handing Hugh the glass. Hugh downed the drink in one gulp and held the empty glass out for more. "You know that's a $300 bottle of scotch, right?" Chad asked. Hugh waggled the glass. Chad took it, refilled it, and handed it back. "It's all gone," Hugh whimpered. "Everything. My family's hotel, my father's respect, my fortune. Did you know my dad cut me off when he found out I'm the reason he had to close the hotel and sell off half our assets? I'm out. I have nothing." Chad nodded sympathetically. "But worst of all, I've lost the love of my life." Hugh took another large gulp, then lowered his head and began to sob. Chad took a deep breath, trying to suppress a sigh. He had no appetite for weakness, but he needed all the allies he could get. There, Chad said, placing a hand on Hugh's shoulder. "It's going to be all right." Hugh shook his head as he continued to weep. "No, nothing's going to be all right. I've lost everything." The crying grew louder. Chad rolled his eyes as he continued to pat Hugh on the shoulder. His phone rang again. "Would you excuse me?" he said, and answered the phone. "There's another gentleman here to see you, Mr. Baker," the doorman said. "Send him up, please." Another minute, another knock on the door. "Andrew," Chad said, "your timing is impeccable." Andrew Carter stepped inside.
Target is nearby.
What is that noise? Is there an animal trapped in here? That would be our friend Hugh Zimmer. Chad guided Andrew into the living room, revealing the pitiful sight of Hugh Zimmer sobbing into an empty glass of scotch. "Oh my," Carter said. Chad noticed Carter was carrying a shoebox. "What's that? A gift?" "In a manner of speaking," Carter said, a smile curling around his lips. Hugh continued to weep. "Perhaps we should speak in another room," Chad suggested. He led Carter into the kitchen and whispered, "I don't know if it's such a good idea bringing this guy in with us. He doesn't seem too stable right now." From the other room, Hugh let out another heaving sob. Carter smiled. "He's perfect. He's desperate. And he hates Ryan Quinn almost as much as we do. He'll do anything we tell him to. But I don't see how he can help us take over the Lowell Corporation from within." "He can't. We'll have to handle that part ourselves. He's going to help us get Ryan out of the picture." Chad turned and began drumming his fingers on the countertop. "Yes, about that." "What?" Carter asked. "Don't tell me you're starting to get cold feet." "It's just, every time my family and I come up against this guy, he manages to get the better of us. I'm starting to wonder if we should just drop this whole thing." "You're the one who came to me asking for help," Carter spat. You're the one who said you had a plan that would allow you to get revenge on this Ryan Quinn guy and allow me to get my hands on the Lowell Corporation. Now you're chickening out? I'm reassessing, Chad replied. I have to wonder if the reward is worth the risk. Almost said Chad with disgust. This man dishonored your family, humiliated you. My goodness, your brother's probably going to prison because of this guy. You want to walk away? Chad didn't answer. Well, if I'd known I was entering into a partnership with a coward, I would have thought twice. Chad winced, but he said nothing. But it doesn't matter. I'm not stopping. Not when I'm this close to acquiring nearly a dozen new businesses without having to spend a dime. And possibly luring the beautiful Mary Quinn into bed in the process. And if I'm not stopping, you're not stopping. Do you understand? Chad nodded his head. Good, Carter continued. But don't worry. Ryan Quinn won't be able to stand in our way. I have a plan to eliminate him. Oh, really? What plan? Carter pointed toward the living room. Him? Chad said. The man who's currently whimpering like a schoolgirl in front of my fireplace? You have to be joking. Ryan has bested that little twerp twice already. What makes you think he's up to the task? Carter held up the shoebox, then rushed past Chad and walked into the living room. How are you holding up there, champ? Carter asked Hugh. Hugh looked up and wiped the tears from his eyes. How does it look like I'm doing? Hugh's sobbing had calmed down, but he was still a wreck. Carter nodded and knelt beside Hugh. Yes, you've had a tough couple of days. You could say that again, and it's all because of one man. Yes, it is. Ryan Quinn. Ryan Quinn. Hugh repeated. Then he stood up suddenly and hurled his glass into the fireplace, shattering it and sending flames shooting up the flue. Chad rubbed at the bridge of his nose, trying not to lose his temper. You're right to be angry, Carter said. The man is a disgrace. He's hurt you. He's hurt a lot of people, and he'll keep on hurting them unless someone puts an end to it. Oh, I'd like to put an end to it. I'd like to put an end to him. Carter smiled. Well, that's why we're all gathered here. I think I have a way to get back at Ryan Quinn for good. Hugh's eyes lit up. You do? Tell me. It's going to require a lot of courage, and it's going to require strength of will. Do you think you have that in you, Hugh? I do. I'll do whatever it takes to get even with this man. He destroyed my life. No. I promise, no. I vow to destroy him. Good boy. Carter held the shoebox out to Hugh. Take this. Hugh took the box and opened it up. He stared inside blankly for a moment. Take it out, Carter said. See how it feels. Hugh pulled out a 9mm pistol. Chad's eyes widened. Andrew, may I speak to you in the kitchen again? Of course, Chad, Carter answered. He turned back to Hugh. Hold it for a while. See how it feels. Don't worry, you won't hurt yourself. It isn't loaded. Not yet. Hugh stared at the gun, a mixture of fear and lust in his eyes. Carter followed Chad into the kitchen. Chad whirled around and said, Murder? You want to murder Ryan Quinn? No, I want Hugh Zimmer to murder Ryan Quinn. And what happens if he gets caught? Chad asked. Because you know he will get caught. This isn't some professional hitman you've hired. It's a spineless, sniveling wimp. Very true. And as soon as the police catch him, he's going to rat us out. I'll be sharing a prison cell with my brother. He won't be able to rat you out because he won't be alive to rat you out. As soon as he's done what we need him to do, Hugh Zimmer will meet an unfortunate fate. A mix of pills and alcohol. Suicide, or so the police will think. Very sad. Chad shook his head. I don't like this plan. I don't care what you like, Baker, Carter hissed. We tried things your way. Now it's my turn. Carter turned and went back into the living room. Hugh was still playing with the gun. How does it feel, Hugh? Carter asked. It feels like power, Hugh answered. Good. Place it back in the box and take it home with you. There's a full clip inside the box as well. Don't load it until you're ready to use it. When will that be? And how will I do it? Will I get caught? No one is getting caught. No one is going to jail. I have a foolproof plan that I will share with you when the time is right. Until then, Carter grabbed another expensive bottle of scotch off of Chad's bar and handed it to Hugh. Chad was about to protest, then gave up. Here, take this bottle home with you. Now is not the time to face your troubles sober. Enjoy a little with courage. Hugh slipped the gun back into the box, closed it, and grabbed the bottle of scotch. Off you go now, Carter said, leading Hugh toward the door. Chad and I have plans to make. We'll contact you soon. Hugh stepped out into the hallway, a half-crazed grin on his lips. Carter closed the door and let out a sigh. This won't work, Chad said as Carter came back into the room. He'll chicken out. It will work, Carter replied. Sure, he's ready to kill now, but give him enough time to think about it and he'll lose heart. He won't go through with it. He'll go through with it. Ryan Quinn took his dignity, his fortune, and his woman. The more time Hugh Zimmer spends drunk, broke, and alone, the more the bitterness will grow inside of him. Oh yes, he'll be ready to kill. I hope you're right, Chad said. In the meantime, Chad, you and I need to talk about this ceremony tomorrow. I've invited a very special guest to join us for the evening. Mary paced back and forth in her bedroom, clutching her cell phone. The number she needed to call was queued up. She just needed to work the courage to press the send call button. Come on, Mary, she said to herself. Put on your big girl pants and make the call. She made the call. Chad Baker's arrogant voice flowed through the receiver. Mary, how delightful to hear from you. On such an important day. Hello, Chad. Oh, you don't sound happy to be speaking with me. And when we're so close to making a deal that will strengthen the Lowell Corporation and keep your cousin Wallace from taking over your share of the company. Honestly, Mary, you should work on your sense of gratitude. Gratitude? To you? Well, who else? I am the one putting together this deal and saving your job. Yeah, about that, Mary said, her voice trailing off. Yes, Mary. I'm listening. She took a deep breath. Would you please consider dropping the provision that Ryan has to attend the ceremony tonight in order for the deal to go through? Why? Chad asked innocently. Is he having trouble securing an invitation? You know he is, Chad. The King's Club is super exclusive. There's no way he'll be able to get an invite by tonight. You're doing this just to embarrass him. Not at all, Mary. Like Ryan, I feel he's an important part of our deal-making process. As do you, I assume, since you're always bringing him along to every meeting. Please, Chad, just drop it. I want to make this deal with you and Andrew Carter. It's a good deal. Let's not ruin it with this petty rivalry you have going on with my husband. The line went silent for a beat. Finally, Chad said, I don't know, Mary. I'll have to think about it. The ceremony is in less than 12 hours, Chad. You need to think fast. These things can't be rushed, Mary. I'll tell you what. I'll make it a game-time decision. Make sure Ryan joins you outside the club this evening. If he hasn't secured an invitation, I'll see how generous I'm feeling. Chad, see you tonight, Mary. Her mind went dead. Mary cursed to herself, charged out of the bedroom, and walked downstairs to the kitchen. Ryan was at the sink, cleaning up the dishes. Hey, he said. You missed breakfast. The saved you plate. I'm not hungry, Mary said. Ryan turned off the faucet, dried his hands, and turned to her. Oh, what happened? I called Chad Baker. Tried to get him to drop this stupid requirement that you need to gain entrance to the King's Club tonight or the deal is off. Oh yeah? How did that go? She frowned at him. Yeah, sounds about right, he said, smiling at her. Ryan, this is serious. What are we going to do? I'll get in. This isn't something you can buy your way into, Ryan. Even with all the money you have access to, the King's Club works on a medieval kind of honor system. If you don't have an invitation or a membership card, they won't let you in. You could offer them $1 billion and they wouldn't take it. He cocked an eyebrow at her. Are you sure? I'm sure. She hesitated for a moment, then said, Wait, you couldn't actually get your hands on $1 billion, could you? Ryan shrugged. Oh, my lord, Mary said, fanning her face. The Quinns don't just have money. We have influence. I'll make a call right now and get this sorted out. Mary shook her head. Well, you'd better make it fast, because if you're wrong, I don't know how we're getting you inside. Ryan took out his phone and stepped into their home office so no one would accidentally overhear him. He called Tom Harlan. Hello, Ryan. What can I do for you this morning? Hey, Tom. There's a ceremony going on tonight at the King's Club. It's important that I be there, but I don't have an invitation. Can you get me in? Oh, Ryan. You know how the King's Club operates. They take entry into the club very seriously. If you haven't been granted an invitation, there's no way they'll let you in. There's no amount of money that will change their minds. Yeah, I know all that, Tom. But surely the Quinn family has members in good standing. Somebody should be able to vouch for me, or get me an invite to this thing. We have many members in good standing, Ryan. It's just that you're not one of them. Not since you left the family. Wait, are you telling me there's no way you can get me into that club tonight? The line went silent. Tom? Tom? Tom Harlan burst out laughing. Of course I can get you into the club tonight. Who do you think is hosting the event? Ryan let out a long sigh. That wasn't funny, Tom. Harlan continued to laugh very hard. Okay, Ryan said. You got me. I forgot what a sick sense of humor you have. Harlan's laughter died down. All right, Ryan. I'll have someone personally deliver the membership card to your house. You won't have any problems getting in. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. Like I told you, Ryan, anything you need. Ryan hung up and walked into the living room where Mary was pacing back and forth. It's all settled, he said. Mary stopped pacing and turned to him, her jaw hanging open. Really? Really? Someone will be by today with a membership card for me. That's amazing, she said, then flung herself into his arms and kissed him. See? I told you not to worry. Mary's smile faded. What is it? Ryan asked. Come take a walk with me, she said. They grabbed their coats and stepped outside. Christmas was just around the corner, and the day was sunny and brisk. They walked in silence for a bit, breathing in the fresh air and admiring the decorations on the old Victorian homes in their neighborhood in Wellesley. What happened with your family? Mary asked finally. Why did you walk away from them? I told you. My dad started the Quinn organization with money he'd borrowed from the mob. The company is 100% legitimate now, but they still send the mob kickback money. I wasn't going to be in charge of a company that funds the mafia. I know. I get that part. But just because you walked away from your family's business didn't mean you had to walk away from your family. Believe me, I didn't want to. That was my father's decision. He basically disowned me. Mary was quiet for a beat. Then she said, "Well, it seems like he wants you back now." Ryan didn't say anything. I mean, he unfroze your accounts, he sent personal bodyguards to watch out for you, and every time there's trouble, someone is always there to bail you out. "What's your point?" he asked. "My point is that maybe you should give them another chance." They stopped walking. Mary watched him closely. "I'm sorry if I overstepped," she said. Ryan shook his head. "No, it's not that." "What is it?" "I was just thinking. I just got off the phone with Tom Harlan. You know, my dad's number 2 guy?" "Yeah, you've told me about it." "What about it?" "Well, even though we're not related, Tom's always been like family to me, you know? Like an uncle. And just now, when I called him to help me with this King's Club thing, he pulled a little practical joke on me. And it was funny. And I realized that I kind of miss him. I kind of miss a lot of people in my family." Mary was quiet for a beat. "So, maybe it's time you thought about putting them back into your life." Ryan thought about it for a moment, then shook his head. "It's not that simple. I don't know what way." "Okay, I understand. But maybe, in time." He nodded. "Maybe. But until then, you're my family. And for right now, I'd rather use my resources to help you build something. Is that okay?" She gently put her hands to his face and kissed him on the lips. "Yes, it's okay." "Okay, so let's go back. I'm shivering." "Ugh," Mary said, rolling her eyes. "I swear, you rich kids are so babies." Ryan put his finger to his lips. "Shh. This is still a secret, remember? My lips are sealed." They walked back home hand in hand. Mary went to the kitchen and warmed up the breakfast that Ryan had set aside for her. Ryan went up to their room and lay down on the bed, staring up at the ceiling. "Why am I still holding back?" he thought to himself. Mary is right. My family is making an effort. They've been there for me every time I've needed something, and they've never asked any questions. Am I the one who's in the wrong here? He took out his phone. He'd long since deleted his father's phone number, but he still had it memorized. He dialed in the number and stared at it. His thumb hovered over the send button. He turned the phone off and stuffed it back into his pocket. "Not yet," he said to himself. "Not just yet." Ryan and Mary laid on the living room couch. Mary's head rested.
Target is near you, Agent.
Stroked her hair.
Cover the target. I'm
This is nice, Mary said. It's like the calm before the storm. Shouldn't be much of a storm, Ryan assured her. The membership card for the King's Club should be here any moment now. When I get inside the club tonight, Chad and Carter will have to go through with the deal. Yeah, I guess. You sound uncertain. Well, this is Chad Baker we're talking about here. There's no guarantee he'll keep his word. True, Ryan agreed. Still, I feel like we've done everything we can to prepare. No shame in taking a little time to relax. Mary closed her eyes and snuggled tighter into him, the tension slowly leaving her body. The tension came back suddenly as Martha stalked into the room. What is going on in here? Martha demanded. We're hours away from losing everything, and the two of you are lying on the couch like a couple of house cats. Relax, Mother, Mary said. We've done all we can do. All that's left is to wait for the ceremony tonight. You mean wait to have your father's company stripped away from us and given to your cousin Wallace? Mary and Ryan sat up. There would be no more relaxing that afternoon. Have we figured out how we're going to sneak this good-for-nothing bum into one of the most exclusive clubs in the world tonight? Mother, we've talked about this. I won't have you speaking to my husband this way. No one has been more helpful or more supportive than Ryan through all of this. Gary came bopping down the stairs. What's all the yelling about down here? Is Mom being mean again? She's just wound up about the ceremony tonight, Mary answered. Well, of course I'm wound up, Martha said. And you should be too. You should all be freaking out. That's hardly going to help the situation, Martha, Ryan said. Martha glared at him. Don't you start with me. Just because I didn't lay into you after you punched Wallace's lights out doesn't mean we've become allies. I demand to know how you think you're going to get yourself into this club tonight so Chad Baker and Andrew Carter will agree to this deal. Ryan looked at me. You can tell her, honey, Mary said. It's okay. Tell me what? Martha asked. Ryan calmly said to Martha, I've got a membership card to the King's Club. I can get in with no problem. Martha's eyes went wide. She flinched as if someone had just slapped her. You? Why? Who? How in the world does a nobody like you get a membership card to the King's Club? I know somebody that has an in with their board of directors. I explained my situation, and they were able to gift me a card. He looked over at Mary again and shrugged. It wasn't exactly a lie. It just didn't give away the whole truth. Where is this card? Martha demanded. I want to see it. I don't have it yet. It's being delivered to the house sometime this afternoon. Martha threw her hands up in the air. Oh, you hear that, everybody? He doesn't have it yet. What a load of... Martha was interrupted by the sound of the doorbell. I'll get it, Carrie said, bounding over to the door. A man in a tuxedo was standing in the doorway. Well, hello, James Bond, Carrie said, twirling her hair at the man. Good afternoon. I have a very special delivery for one Mr. Ryan Quinn. Ryan walked over to the door. I'm Ryan. Hello, Mr. Quinn, he said, pulling a small envelope from his coat pocket. Please accept this delivery on behalf of the board of directors of the King's Club. They are honored to have you as a member. Ryan took the envelope. Thanks. I appreciate you dropping this off in person. The man in the tuxedo chuckled. Well, it's not like we can trust something of this importance to a name, now is it? I guess not. At any rate, Mr. Quinn, I hope you enjoy all the rights and privileges associated with membership. Have a wonderful day. The man in the tuxedo turned and walked to a limousine that was parked in the Lowell's driveway. The driver got out, opened the door for the man, closed it, then got back into the driver's seat and drove away. Carrie closed the front door. Martha stared at Ryan with her mouth hanging open as he walked back into the living room and opened up the envelope. Inside was a black card. There was nothing on it. No writing, no magnetic strip, no chip. Nothing. Pretty nifty, huh? Ryan said, holding the card up to the light. Martha came over and snatched it from him. This is it? This is the card that gets you into the King's Club? It's just a blank piece of plastic. I think it's graphite, actually, Ryan said. Martha tossed the card back to him. I'll believe it when I see it, Buster. Mother, Mary said. I'm sorry, but I don't buy it. I think this is all a hoax. I think that guy was some loser friend of his in a rented limo trying to make us think Ryan is some kind of secret big shot. I'm betting that card doesn't get you inside anything. Well, I guess we'll find out tonight, Ryan said. Martha waved her hands at him dismissively, then went back upstairs. What's gotten into her today? Carrie asked. She's nervous, Ryan said. She thinks she's on the verge of losing everything. Is she? Are we? No, Mary answered. Everything's going to be fine, Carrie. You'll see. Carrie frowned. I hope so. I don't even want to think about what Mom will do if that car doesn't get Ryan inside the club. Mary squeezed Carrie's arm reassuringly. I'm gonna start getting ready. Now? Ryan said. The ceremony doesn't start for a few hours yet. All you have to do is shower and run a comb through your hair. You don't even want to know what Carrie and I have to go through to get ready for this kind of thing. Carrie nodded at him. It's true. Guys have it easy. Point taken, Ryan said. Mary headed up the stairs. I think I'll go for a walk, Ryan said. I was getting drowsy lying on that couch. I need to get the blood flowing again. Carrie reached out and touched him on the arm. Actually, Ryan, could I talk to you for a minute? Sure, Carrie. What's up? The two of them sat down on the sofa. I'm worried about my sister. Yeah? How come? She's under a lot of pressure. I'm sure it's hard enough running two companies, but knowing that everyone is scheming against you to try to take those companies away, that's got to be eating her up inside. Grandma Lowell, Wallace, Chad Baker. It feels like they're all lining up against her. You're not wrong. So you have to protect her, Carrie said, peering into his eyes. You can't let anything happen to her tonight. If it looks like they're going to try to embarrass her or hurt her in any way, Carrie, Ryan interrupted. I promise, I won't let anything bad happen to Mary. No matter what? No matter what. Carrie nodded. Okay, thanks, Ryan. I just needed to know you were on top of it. She got up from the couch and went up to her room. Ryan stared at the black card in his hand. You'd better work. You hear me? A few hours later, Martha, Charles, Mary, and Carrie all piled into the family's full-sized SUV. Ryan got into the driver's seat. Everyone buckled in? He asked. Is that the only suit you own? Martha said. Yes, Martha, it is. What kind of man only owns one suit? Mother, please don't start, Mary said. You know, when your father and I first started dating, he only owned one suit. But by the time we were walking down the aisle, he had a closet full of them. What's your point? Mary asked. Some of this is your fault, Mary. You're supposed to civilize your man, not allow him to run around looking like a hobo. I think you look nice, Ryan, Carrie said. Thank you, Carrie. You look lovely this evening, isn't it? You won't. Martha rolled her eyes. Don't try to sweet-talk them and turn them against me. I'm on to you, mister. Ryan started the engine, then turned to Mary and said, This is gonna be a blast. He put the car in gear and drove off. The King's Club was just outside of the city, in the ritzy beachfront community of Winthrop. It was a clear, chilly night, and the lights of downtown Boston shimmered in the background as Ryan pulled up to the valet stand. The five of them stepped out of the car as Ryan handed the valet his keys. Martha was fidgeting with her dress as she looked all around. Charles, you have our invitations, right? For the 100th time, Martha. Yes, they're right here in my... Charles felt his coat pocket. Then his face dropped. Oh no. Charles, Martha shrieked. What did you do? Charles held up his other hand, revealing 4 engraved invitations. Mary and Carrie put their hands to their mouths, trying to stifle a laugh. That's not funny, Martha shrieked, smacking Charles on the arm. Several guests in formal attire turned their way. Easy, Martha, Charles said. You don't want to cause a scene. They approached the front doors, Martha still fidgeting with her dress. Uh-oh, Mary said. Martha nearly jumped out of her skin. What? What is it? Mary pointed. Ahead of them were Wallace and Grandma Evelyn. Evelyn walked over to them and addressed Mary directly. Well, hello, child. Are you ready to make the deal after tonight's ceremony? Grandma Evelyn, I didn't realize you were going to be here tonight. Well, why wouldn't I? Am I not a prominent member of the business community? Of course you are. I'm just surprised to see you, is all. Wallace hung in the background. There was a huge bruise on the left side of his face from where Ryan had struck him the day before. He didn't look over in their direction. All right then, Evelyn said. Let's not all stand out here in the freezing cold. Inside, everyone. Inside. She leered at Ryan. Everyone with an invitation, that is. Ryan smiled to himself. They walked up to the main entrance and presented their invitations one by one. Ryan came up and presented his black card to the man at the front door. The man looked at Ryan, looked at the card, then looked at Ryan again. Sir, where did you get this card? Martha turned and watched anxiously. A nice man in a tuxedo gave it to me. Very charming. My sister-in-law thought he had a sort of James Bond quality to him. I'm sorry, sir, but I can't let you in this door holding this card. I beg your pardon, Ryan said. Aha! Martha yelled from inside the doorway. I knew it. He's a bum and a fake. Martha grabbed Mary by the arm and started pulling her inside. Come on, you can't afford to be seen with him. Mother, stop it, Mary yelled. The man at the front door said to Ryan, Sir, come with me, please. Ryan, Mary called out. What are we going to do? Martha continued to pull Mary inside. Just leave him. Maybe Chad Baker will take pity on you and sign the deal even though Ryan can't get in. Come on. More and more people started to pile in through the doors, separating Ryan from the rest. I'll find a way in, Mary, Ryan called out. I promise.
Hello, agents.
Ryan watched helplessly as Mary and her family disappeared inside the King's Club. He whirled on the doorman who had denied him access and held up the black membership card. What is going on here? Why can't I go inside? I was promised that this card would give me full access to the club. The front door attendant practically bowed in front of Ryan. Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir. It does. But I couldn't possibly let you go in that way. Why not? Sir, this door is for general admission to the club. The card you're holding grants you access to our exclusive VIP section. It would have been an insult to let you go in that way. Ryan sighed. Well, why didn't you just tell me that in the first place? My apologies, sir. I was just surprised to find someone with your level of membership trying to go in through that door. It's all right. It wasn't your fault. It's my first time here. Oh, well then, please wait here while I have someone come to give you an orientation. Cool, Ryan said. The door attendant pulled out a walkie-talkie and spoke quietly into it. Within a minute, a distinguished-looking, older man in a tuxedo came around the corner of the building. He extended his hand to Ryan, saying, Greetings, sir. You must be Ryan Quinn, our newest VIP member. That's me, Ryan said, shaking the man's hand. My sincerest apologies for not coming out to greet you personally. It was a terrible oversight on my part. I humbly beg your forgiveness. Don't sweat it. Sir, I am known as the concierge. Ryan lifted his eyebrows. Really? Just the concierge? No actual name? The concierge chuckled. Very amusing, sir. Have the benefits of your membership card been fully explained to you? Not really. Just that it grants me the full rights and privileges of membership, whatever that means. The concierge shook his head. Oh, my. This is truly inexcusable. Your rights and privileges should have been explained to you when the card was delivered. Well, in fairness to you guys, I did just get it this afternoon. You are far too generous in your forgiveness, sir. Please know that this is well below the level of service a man of your status deserves, and that I shall personally do everything I can this evening to ensure that all your needs are met. Appreciate it, Con. The concierge stared at Ryan in confusion. Con, Ryan said. Short for concierge, or do you not like that nickname? Mr. Quinn, you may call me whatever you like. Now, let me briefly explain some of the benefits of VIP membership while I walk you to your exclusive entrance. Ryan followed the concierge and was given a brief overview of what it meant to be a VIP member of the exclusive Kings Club. Ryan was only half listening, since he had no plans to return to the club after this night, but he nodded along politely. Lastly, the concierge continued, and this may be one of your most important benefits. This card allows you to bring up to 6 additional guests with you at any time. Really? I thought the whole we don't let anybody into the club thing was your whole identity. Indeed, sir. That just goes to show you how special this VIP card truly is. Ryan nodded. They stopped at the back of the building. Here we are, sir. The VIP entrance. Ryan looked around. This is a wall. Where's the door? The concierge pointed to a small device on the wall. Just hold your card up to that reader, Mr. Quinn, and you'll be granted access. Ryan walked over to the reader and held his card up to it. Sure enough, a door opened from what had appeared to be a seamless wall. Pretty nifty trick, Ryan said. The concierge smiled and bowed his head slightly. A noise from a few feet away caught their attention. You should step inside, sir, the concierge said. I'll look into this. I'll go with you. Ryan and the concierge walked alongside the back end of the building. Behind a protrusion in the wall was a young woman. She was crying. Miss, this is a restricted area, the concierge said. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I'm sorry, the young woman said. I wasn't trying to sneak in or anything. I was just looking for someone. Well, look somewhere else. The concierge grabbed the woman by the arm and began to pull her away. Hold on a minute, Ryan said, resting his hand on the concierge's shoulder. Miss, are you okay? The woman nodded, but her tears continued to flow. Sir, this happens sometimes, the concierge explained. People hear rumors of the club's secret entrance and try to sneak in. I can handle things from here. I told you I wasn't trying to sneak in, the young woman said. I was just looking for someone, that's all. Who were you looking for? Ryan asked. My fiancé. You were supposed to meet your fiancé here? Not exactly. It's complicated. Ryan turned to the concierge and said, Let me talk to this woman for a minute. See if I can help her out. That's really not necessary, sir. You should go inside and enjoy the ceremony. I'll head in a minute. I just want to find out more. The concierge looked the young woman over for a second, then released his grip. Very well, sir. When you're ready to enter the club, you know how to access the VIP door. The concierge nodded politely and went inside. Take a walk with me, will you? Ryan said. The young woman looked a little uncertain, but said, Okay. They walked around the building and came out onto a sidewalk along the town center. So what's your name? Ryan asked. Hannah. Hi, Hannah. I'm Ryan. Nice to meet you. Yeah, you too. So what's the deal with the fiancé? You were supposed to meet him and he didn't show up? Hannah was quiet for a minute. Finally, she said, He told me he lost the invitation. Okay, then what? I said since we didn't have to go to this stuffy ceremony, maybe we could do something else, like catch a movie or maybe just stay home and chill. Uh-huh. Then he tells me he already made plans. He said he was going to go to his buddy's place for a poker night. Only I was on Instagram and I see his buddy doing this live post from Jamaica. The guy's not even in the country. Ryan nodded. I see. So I started thinking, maybe my fiancé, his name is Darren, maybe Darren didn't lose the invitation after all. Maybe he decided to come here with someone else. Maybe, Ryan said. Or maybe he's just sitting alone in a bar somewhere. You know, sometimes guys feel like they need a night to themselves. Hannah shook her head and started to cry again. I saw his car parked in the valet parking lot. He's here, and I think he's with another woman. They stopped walking. Hannah turned and buried her face in Ryan's chest. Ryan was taken aback, but he put his arms around the girl and did his best to comfort her. That guy you were talking with was right, Hannah said. I was trying to sneak into the club. I was hoping I could catch him in the act. Gotcha. Well, maybe you can catch him on the way out. In front of there. Maybe. Or maybe the club is going to be keeping an eye out for me, not let me near the building. Then Darren will just sneak away with whatever bimbo he's running around with, and I'll never know. She cried in his arms for another minute. Then she started to calm down. Sorry, Ryan, she said, pulling away from him. I don't even know you, and I'm totally bearing my soul. It's okay. I'm the one who asked. Hannah reached into her purse, pulled out a tissue, and blew her nose. Anyway, I guess I should just go. No use hanging around here. I'll confront Darren about it tomorrow. I mean, I'm sure he'll just deny everything, and I'll probably end up believing whatever lies he tells me, but oh well. She turned and started walking down the street. Hey, Hannah. Yeah, Hannah said, turning back to him. You know, I was supposed to go to this thing with a group of people and we got separated. Now I'm all on my own. Would you like to be my plus one? Hannah's eyes brightened. Really? You could get me into the club? I sure could. While we're there, we could do a little snooping around. See if we can't spot this fiancé of yours. Oh my goodness, that would be so awesome. Hannah looked down at her clothes. Though I guess I'm not really dressed for it. I kinda ran out of the house in a hurry. Ryan waved her comment away. You'll be fine. He extended his arm for her. Shall we? Hannah smiled shyly, walked over, and linked arms with Ryan. As they walked behind the building, back toward the VIP entrance, they saw the concierge and two bouncers herding a small group of homeless people away from the club. You can't kick us out of here, one of the homeless people was saying. We have rights. Sure, one of the bouncers said. Right now, you can get right out of here before I kick you right in the you-know-what. The concierge looked guiltily at Ryan as he approached. I'm sorry, sir. It's not usually like this. We'll get these people cleared out of here. Ryan stopped and looked at the group as they were escorted away. Hold on a sec, he called out. They all stopped and turned toward him. You said this card allows me to bring along 6 guests, correct? Yes, sir. That's correct. Well, I count 5 people in this crowd, plus my new friend Hannah. I'd like them all to accompany me inside as my guests tonight. The homeless folks looked at each other in confusion. The concierge stepped over to Ryan and led him a few steps away. Mr. Quinn, we have a certain standard here at the King's Club that I'm afraid we must adhere to. Really? What standard would that be? Well, for one, there's a dress code. Also, there's the consideration of, hygiene. Ryan held up the black card. You said this card allows me to bring up to 6 guests. You never said anything about who those guests could or couldn't be. That's true, Mr. Quinn. However, you also said that you would do everything within your power to personally ensure that all my needs were met tonight. The concierge swallowed hard. Yes, sir. That I did. Well, I need you to allow me to bring these men and women inside as my guests. Are you going to go back on your word and deny me my request? Beads of sweat began to form on the concierge's brow. even though the temperature was just a little above freezing. Of course not, Mr. Quinn. If these are your guests, then we shall treat them as such. They will be entitled to full VIP privileges. Ryan looked over to the group of homeless people and said, "What do you say, folks? You interested in the hot meal at a fancy club?" The group continued to look around at one another, their faces twisted up in confusion. Finally, one of them said, "Well, heck yeah. Hot meal sounds pretty good to me right about now." The other members of the group nodded in agreement. The bouncers looked nervous. "Concierge?" one of the bouncers said. "What should we do here?" "Do as the man says," the concierge replied. "Show these people inside." "Follow me, folks," Ryan said. "Step this way." Ryan linked arms with Hannah again and led the group of homeless people inside the VIP entrance. Hannah looked up at him. "Who are you?" she asked. "Just a guy trying to get into the club," Ryan answered. From the other end of the building, a shadowy figure watched as Ryan disappeared inside the club. A beautiful young woman on his arm and a raggedy group of homeless people trailing behind. In one hand, the man held a bottle of whiskey. In his other hand was a loaded 9mm pistol. Ryan strolled into the exclusive King's Club. On his arm was Hannah, the young woman he'd met outside the club, who was trying.
What ultimately prevents cancer? Let's talk about the roles of vitamins B2 and B3. Hello, it's April 18, 2018, and this is Dr. Cully. I am a naturopathic medical doctor in Tempe, Arizona, and I want to talk to you about what makes cancer activate than normal tissues in organs. Let's get to the origin of this. But first, what is it?
A group of 5 homeless people who were about to be kicked off the property. The door attendants at the VIP entrance looked nervously at one another as Ryan approached this "Sir," a young woman at the entrance said to Ryan. "May I see your credentials, please?" Ryan held up the black VIP membership card. The woman took out a flashlight with a special bulb attached and shined it on the card. The light revealed writing on the card which read, "Ryan Quinn, VIP, highest order." The 3 door attendants stared at the lit-up card, looked to one another, and shrugged. "Welcome to the King's Club, Mr. Quinn," the young lady said, handing the card back to him. "Are these people your guests?" "Yes, they are," Ryan answered. "I was hoping we could fix them up with a private room and a hot meal." "Absolutely, sir. I can offer them our private dining room on the 3rd floor." Ryan turned his head toward the group. "That sound okay to you guys?" The group nodded in agreement. One of them stepped forward and asked, "Do you guys have lobster thermidor? I've never had that before and I'd really like to try it." "Yes, we do," the young woman answered. "It's one of our chef's specialties." An attendant came out and said, "If you folks would follow me, I'll get you all set up in our private dining room." The group looked over toward Ryan. "Go on ahead," Ryan said. "I'll come check on you in a little bit." They followed the attendant to a private elevator and were taken up to the 3rd floor. "Now then," Ryan said to Hannah, "let's see if we can't track down this fiancé of yours." Ryan led her inside the club. The first area they passed through was a VIP lounge. The room had the feel of old money, decorated with leather furniture and rich mahogany floors with matching beams stretching the length of the 20-foot ceiling. Hannah gazed around in awe. Wow, I've never seen a place like this. Have you? Ryan shrugged. It's been a while. I grew up around places like this, but... But what? She asked. Nothing. Let's focus on you. This fiancé of yours. Darren, was it? Uh-huh. Would Darren have access to a VIP lounge like this? Oh, no. I don't think so.
Detected.
His family is rich, but they're not, like, rich. Gotcha. Hannah wrapped her arms around herself and hunched her shoulders. I feel so out of place. Everyone here is dressed so fancy.
Squad nearby. Stay alert.
Clothes don't matter in here. In a place like this, what matters is access. If you're in this room, they think you belong. Just be confident, and you'll fit right in. Feel confident. Fake it till you make it. A waiter walked up carrying a tray filled with champagne glasses. Ryan took two and handed one to Hannah. Thank you, Ryan said to the waiter. Hey, can you help us out? It's our first time here, and we're trying to get the lay of the land. Of course, sir, the waiter said. What can I help you with? A night like this, when there's a big ceremony going on, where do the non-members hang out? You know, the people that are just here for the event, but don't belong to the club. There's a reception area on the second floor. You can access it by going up the stairs to your right. Gotcha. And the ceremony itself, where does that take place? In the auditorium, which is directly through the doors ahead of you. VIP seating, of course. Yes, of course. Thank you. Ryan and Hannah headed for the stairway. Wouldn't you be more comfortable here in the VIP lounge? The waiter asked.
This is what you were
We're looking for someone. I see. Well, whenever you want access to the VIP areas, or any of the club for that matter, just remember to use your card, sir. Ryan nodded. He and Hannah walked up the stairs and pushed through the doors into the second floor reception area. The room was packed with people. There was a long bar that extended the length of the hall. An ornate chandelier hung above, while a string quintet played softly in the background. Whoa, that's a lot of people, Hannah said. How am I supposed to find Darren? Drinker? Ryan asked. He likes a scotch. Then the bar is a good place to start. There was a mirrored wall behind the bar stacked with every kind of liquor imaginable. Ryan pointed. The scotch selection is over there, toward the middle of the room. Let's start weaving our way through the crowd. He took Hannah's hand, and they slid between a sea of well-dressed attendees. Hannah continued to fidget with her clothes, feeling out of place. Ryan's suit was clearly off the rack, but he wore it with the confidence of a man in an Armani tuxedo. They made their way to the middle of the bar. You see him? Ryan asked. Hannah looked around. Not serious trauma detected. Ryan scanned the crowd as well, but not for Hannah's two-timing fiancé. Near the back corner, he could just make out his wife Mary, huddled with her mother Martha and her father Charles. Mary had her phone out and seemed to be texting someone. Ryan was going to excuse himself to let everyone know he had made it inside when Hannah tugged on his thing. There he is. He just went through that door. Did he have someone with him? I couldn't tell. There were too many people in the way, but that was definitely him. Ryan's phone dinged with a text. It was Mary. The text read, "What's happening? Did you get inside? We have to hurry or we'll lose him." Hannah said. Ryan quickly texted Mary back. "Still working on it. Sit tight." He slid the phone back into his pocket and said, "Okay, let's go." He and Hannah began working their way through the crowd. They made it to the door where an attendant blocked their path. "Restricted access, folks," the attendant said. Ryan held up his black VIP card. The attendant's eyes went wide. "Please, sir. Right this way." The attendant opened the door, and Ryan and Hannah stepped into the room. It was a semi-private lounge filled with curtained-off booths. "Must be one of these booths," Hannah said. "But which one?" Ryan noticed a curtain closing on a booth at the far end of the room.
Fuck, it got all of the fucking
"Did you
colors,
see
bro.
anyone else come into this room
Oh,
after
damn,
Darren?"
dude.
he asked. I don't think so. I can't be sure. I was trying to get through the crowd."
The
Ryan
area is
shrugged.
lost.
"Well, here goes nothing." He led Hannah to the far end of the lounge and peeled back the curtain on the booth. A man and a woman looked up at them, startled. The woman's lipstick was smeared, and some of
I'm
it was on the
sweating like
man's
crazy.
mouth. "Hannah?" the man said. The woman with him shot him a look. "Hannah? Who's Hannah?" "I'm his fiancée," Hannah answered, crossing her arms. "Fiancée?" The woman grabbed her purse and slid out of the booth. "Becca, don't go," Darren yelled. "I can explain." The woman stormed out of the lounge. "Great, just great," Darren said, leaning back in the booth. "Did you see what you just did?" "What I just did?" Hannah yelled. "I can't believe you pig!" Darren leaned forward and grabbed a glass of scotch. "Yeah, I'm a pig. I admit it. So what? What are you gonna do? Leave me?" "You're darn right I'm gonna leave you." Darren smiled and shook his head. "No, you're not. Because where are you gonna go? Back to your mama's trailer?" "No, sweetie. I'm your meal ticket. Your sugar daddy. Without me, you've got nothing. So I ask you, yeah, where are you gonna go?" Ryan watched as Hannah stood there, fuming. It looked like she wanted to punch him. It looked like she wanted to throw a drink in his face and storm out. But she didn't. She just stood there. "Exactly," Darren said. "Anyway, since my date just walked out, you want to join me? It'd be a shame to waste an extra ticket." Hannah continued to stay frozen in place. Darren noticed Ryan standing behind Hannah. "Who are you, pal?" Ryan shrugged. "No one special." Darren looked Ryan up and down. "Yeah, you got that right. Why don't you take a hike, whoever you are?" Ryan put a hand on Hannah's shoulder. "Hannah, you never told me what kind of work you do." "Huh?" Hannah said, still half in a daze. "She doesn't work, pal," Darren said. "That's what she's got me for." "Well, what kind of work would you like to do?" Ryan asked. Hannah blinked at him a couple of times. I like photography. I took a class at Bunker Hill Community College last year. Photography, huh? Ryan scratched the stubble on his chin. How would you like a job working for the Quinn organization? We do a lot of work in the fashion industry. I could set you up as a photographer's assistant. Start you off at, say, $75,000 a year? 75,000? It's not a fortune or anything, but it should be enough to let you break free from this creep. What are you trying to pull here, pal? Darren said. You trying to get into my fiance's pants or something? Nah. I just don't like to see people trapped in relationships with arrogant jerks like you. Darren slid out of the booth and got right up in Ryan's face. Who are you calling a jerk, pal? Ryan smiled at him. Just then, two bouncers appeared seemingly out of nowhere. Is there a problem here, Mr. Quinn? One of them asked. Darren did a double take. What? Did he just call you Mr. Quinn? Got here fast, Ryan said. We keep an eye on our highest order VIPs at all times, Mr. Quinn. Darren stammered. Hannah stared at him wide-eyed. Is this for real? Are you really a Quinn? Like a Quinn? Quinn?
Reloading! Cover me!
I'm really a Quinn, Ryan answered. And this is a real job offer. If you want it, that is. I do. I really do. Great. Here's my phone. Punch in your information and I'll have someone call you on Monday to set up an interview. Oh, thank you, Ryan. Thank you. What is going on here? Darren whined. The bouncer drew up to his full height. What would you like us to do with this fella, Mr. Quinn? Ryan looked over at Hannah. Well, that depends on you. What would you like to do, Hannah? Darren looked desperately between Hannah and the two oversized bouncers.
Hostiles guarding location nearby.
Company? He said. Hannah smiled coldly. Bounce him. The bouncers grabbed onto Darren's arms and dragged him out the door. Hannah put her contact information into Ryan's phone and handed it back to him. I still can't believe all this is happening. Why did you do all this? I don't know. It just felt like the right thing to do. She smiled and kissed him on the cheek.
Control point detected.
Thank you, Ryan. He nodded. Speaking of doing the right thing, I think I'll go check on my guests in the private dining room. Ryan said goodbye to Hannah and found his way to the stairwell. He flashed his black
I can't believe it.
membership card and was allowed entrance to the third floor. He heard what sounded like the group he brought in enjoying their dinner and headed in that direction. As he walked down the hallway, something caught his eye. Food was being brought from a small meal. Through the open door, he glanced a familiar face. Chad Baker. Ryan pressed his back against the wall beside the door and listened in. I hope this meal meets with your approval, Mr. De Silva. And what I know you have particular tastes. Ryan's mind raced. De Silva, he thought to himself. Wentworth De Silva? kept silent as he listened in on the conversation in the next room. He had already identified two of the voices as Chad Baker and Andrew Carter, the men who were supposed to be signing a deal with his wife Mary that very evening. The third man had been referred to as Mr. De Silva. Ryan prayed it wasn't the De Silva he thought it was. The woman who had brought the food into the room stepped out and closed the door. She jumped when she saw Ryan pressed against the wall. Ryan put his finger to his lips. The woman looked like she was about to scream. Ryan slipped the black VIP membership card out of his pocket and held it up. The woman relaxed, nodded, and went about her day. Ryan pressed his ear against the door. "So what you're saying, Mr. De Silva," he heard Chad Baker say, "is that the companies being honored tonight are the only companies that the Quinn organization will consider doing business with?" "That's correct," De Silva answered. "And this is an ironclad agreement?" Carter asked. "In 50 years, we have never failed to honor the list," De Silva said. "Thank you, Wentworth. Chad and I appreciate your candor. Now, if you'll excuse me." "Are you sure you can't stay longer, Wentworth?" Chad asked. "I'd hate for all this food to go to waste." "You gentlemen enjoy without me," De Silva said. "I don't want to be late for the ceremony." Ryan moved away from the door and hid around the corner. A few moments later, he heard the door open and the sound of someone stepping out and walking toward the exit. He peeked around the corner and saw the figure of a heavy-set man in a white suit lurching down the hallway. From inside the room, he could hear Chad and Carter talking. "So that's that," said Andrew. Chad said, "Now that we've managed to remove the Lowell Corporation from the list, the Quinn organization will stop backing CLM Financial. Mary's company will have no more protections. None of the Lowell's businesses will. I'll be able to seize their entire organization at one hostile takeover." "And what about Ryan Quinn?" "I saw Mary and her family not 15 minutes ago," Andrew Carter said. "Ryan wasn't with them. Clearly, he never made it into the club. He must still be wandering around outside like a lost puppy. He can't do anything to stop us tonight. He still needs to pay for what he's done to me and my family," Chad said. "Oh, he'll pay. Our man is lurking outside the building as we speak. As soon as he catches sight of Ryan Quinn, it will all be over." Ryan crept away from the room and made it to a stairwell on the far end of the hall. He used his VIP card to open the door, then used it again to access the VIP lounge on the first floor. Once he was safely inside, he took out his phone and called Tom Harlan. "Hello, Ryan. Did you have any trouble getting into the King's Club?" "None at all. The membership card works like a charm." "That it does. Tom, did you know that Wentworth De Silva was going to be here?" "Yes, I did. Ryan, is there a problem?" "Maybe. And frankly, I'm surprised he's here personally. Next to my father and you, he's the most powerful man in the Quinn organization." "That he is. Ryan, you are aware of what's happening at the King's Club tonight, aren't you? The significance of this event?" "To be honest, no," Ryan said awkwardly. "Really? When you said you needed to get inside tonight, I assumed it was because of the importance of tonight's ceremony." "Not really. I just came because the people Mary is trying to strike a deal with said they wanted to do it here tonight, and they wouldn't go through with it unless I could gain entrance." Harlan sighed. "Ryan, Tonight's ceremony was founded by the Quinn organization to recognize those businesses which operate within all legal and ethical boundaries. Any organization that is not on the list is considered toxic. The Quinn organization won't go near them. Really? Ryan said. Well, that's ironic. How do you mean? Wasn't the Quinn organization funded by mob money? Don't they still kick profits back to the mafia? It is precisely because of this that we cannot afford to do business with any company that does not operate up to legal and ethical standards, Ryan. We can't associate with any organization that could put us in legal jeopardy. If we did, then everything your father built, a multi-billion-dollar operation, could come crashing down. I understand, Ryan said. I hope so, Ryan. This is serious business. Ryan paused, then said, Tom, my wife's company isn't on the list. Harlan didn't answer. Tom, are you there? That is unfortunate, Ryan. I know how much our partnership with them mattered to you. It's a lie, Tom. The list has been manipulated by Chad Baker and Andrew Carter. I'm sorry, Ryan, but that's simply not possible. That list is put together every year by some of your father's most loyal and most capable people. Then the list has been altered somehow. It couldn't be, Harlan said. It is kept under... lock and keyed until the ceremony begins. Tom. Evelyn Lowell stared down at the contracts laid out on the conference table. What is the meaning of this? She demanded. Chad Baker and Andrew Carter sat calmly at the far end of the table. Their faces remained expressionless. At the other end of the room, the Lowell family stood frozen in panic and fear. Carter said, I think you all would be much more comfortable if you sat down. I will not sit down, Evelyn said. I demand to know why my company was not included on this year's list of ethical businesses. The Lowell Corporation always operates with the highest levels of integrity and has made that list for 50 years. Evelyn, we have no idea why the Lowell organization didn't make the list, Chad said innocently. That list is compiled by the Quinn organization. We have nothing to do with it. Evelyn turned on her grandson Wallace. I told you to find someone who could explain why we were not on the list. Why have you brought me here? Wallace sputtered. Gam. I was trying to find someone when I ran into Andrew and Chad. They said they needed to speak with you urgently. Mary stepped forward and said, Wait, did you say that the Quinn organization is responsible for the list? I thought they just sponsored the event. Oh no, Chad replied. It's their research team that compiles the list, and they are very thorough in their investigations. But we're partners with the Quinn organization, Martha said. How could they think we've done something so shady that we'd need to be taken off of their list? Andrew Carter couldn't control the smile that curled around his lips. Correction, Martha. You were partners with the Quinn organization. That will end Monday morning. That's right, Andrew, Chad said. We spoke with one of the Quinn organization's highest-ranking members not more than an hour ago. He assured us that the Quinns would be cutting ties with any companies that didn't make the list. No exceptions. Evelyn reached for the table and slowly sank into one of the chairs. Oh, this is not good. We'll be all right, Grandma, Mary said. Even without the Quinn organization, our profits are strong. We can get through this. No, Mary, we can't. Oh, how many loans I've secured for our small businesses using the Quinn organization's fortune to reassure the banks. Once the Quinns cut ties with us, the banks will insist we repay those loans immediately. We'll be finished. Bankrupt. You didn't know it. Grandma, why didn't you tell anybody? Well, why do you think I kept pushing you to make this deal? I told you we needed to diversify. I knew that if anything ever happened to our partnership with the Quinns, we'd be ruined. Martha shook her head. Oh. Evelyn, how could you? Fortunately, I am offering you a lifeline, Andrew Carter said. Even though the Quinn organization wants nothing to do with you, and Ryan never made it to this event tonight as promised, I'm still willing to make a deal with you folks. Evelyn's eyes brightened. You are? Oh, thank you, Andrew. Thank you. What kind of deal? Mary asked skeptically. Carter motioned to the contracts laid out on the table. Mary, Martha, Charles, and Wallace all sat down and picked up a copy. Gary remained standing, glaring at Carter and Chad. The locals looked over the contracts in silence for a few minutes. Are you for real? Mary asked. Is this seriously what you're offering? What's the problem? Andrew said. The problem is that we'd be giving you majority control of the Lowell Corporation. You would own the company. We're still giving you a minority share. A minority share of the city. Carter shrugged. Better to have 30% of something than 100% of nothing. With that, Chad Baker opened a box of pens and held them out to the Molos. Meanwhile, on the first level of the King's Club, Wentworth De Silva, the number 3 man in the Quinn organization, walked into the VIP lounge and ordered a drink. In his hand was a copy of the list of ethical companies that the Lowell Corporation had just been cut out of. Wentworth, a voice said. Wentworth De Silva turned and squinted at the young man in the cheap suit standing behind him. Ryan, is that you? It's been a long time, Wentworth. De Silva stood up from his bar stool and faced Ryan. Yes, it has. I'm surprised to see you here tonight, Ryan. The last I'd heard, you still weren't interested in coming back to your father's company. Though I understand you haven't exactly been shy about using Quinn organization resources. Putting those resources to good use, I like to think. Better use than funding the mafia, at least. I see. Still feeling squeamish about that, are you? De Silva shook his head slowly. You know, you're not a kid anymore, Ryan. You should understand how the world works by now. I'm not here to rehash all of that, Wentworth. I need to talk to you about them.
Incoming hostiles detected.
The list. about it. Ryan took a seat at the bar. De Silva sat back down next to him. The list is bogus, Wentworth. It's been manipulated. Manipulated? By who? Chad Baker and Andrew Carter. De Silva squinted at him. Those two. I've had a few meetings with them over the past week. They seem harmless. They're not. They're out to destroy me and steal my wife's company. Why? It's a long story. Just trust me. There's a lot of bad blood there. These guys somehow changed the list and took the Lowell Corporation off of it. De Silva shook his head. I don't see it, Ryan. Do you know what it would take to alter that list? Those two guys don't have the brains or the guts to pull off something like that. All it would take is one bribe, Wentworth. One person with access to the list who'd be willing to let these guys get their hands on it and change it for tonight's ceremony. But what would that accomplish? De Silva asked. Even if they changed it for tonight, your father will get a clean list from the investigators on Monday morning. If the Lowell Corporation is on it, then they'll be fine.
Detected.
Ryan closed his eyes and shook his head. Then his head shot up and his eyes opened wide. What is it, Ryan? That's it. Carter and Chad just need the Lowells to think they're off the list for tonight. Just long enough to make them desperate and to convince them to sign away their company. I've got to find them before Evelyn hands over control of the Lowell Corporation. Wentworth, could you get a clean copy of that list tonight? Maybe. I can try, please. Do it. And give me your phone. De Silva took his phone out, turned it on, and handed it to Ryan. Ryan typed in his information. As soon as you've got it, text a copy to me at that number. And send a copy to Chad Baker and Andrew Carter as well. Ryan. Ryan jumped off his staircase. He used his membership card to access the third floor. About halfway down the long corridor, he spotted the Lowells through the window of a conference room. Evelyn Lowell had a pen in her hand and was about to sign something. The door to the meeting room flew open. Evelyn, don't sign that, Ryan yelled. Everyone jumped at Ryan's sudden intrusion. Ryan, Mary called out. She leapt out of her seat and hugged him. Ryan, how did you get inside the building? Yes, I'd like to know that is what the hell. Andrew Carter said. It's a long story. Ryan said there. He turned to Evelyn, who was still holding the contract. Evelyn, trust me. You don't want to sign that deal. We have to, Ryan. You don't understand how desperate our situation is. Ryan walked over to Evelyn and snatched the pen out of her hand. Hey, she said. Chad Baker rose from his seat. Bravo for making it inside the building, Ryan. I'm impressed. Unfortunately for you, it doesn't matter. Circumstances have changed. The Lowell Corporation didn't make the list, which means they've lost both credibility and the backing of the Quinn organization. Very sad. Yes, it is. And very interesting that you would already have contracts drawn up for that very situation. It's almost as if you knew the Lowell Corporation wasn't going to be on the list before it was presented. Martha slowly rose from her chair. Yeah, that's a good point. How did you know our company wasn't going to be on the list? That thing is supposed to be top secret until it's presented at the ceremony. Chad and Carter exchanged a nervous look. Carter said, We He had several contracts drawn up to cover a number of different possibilities. Really? Ryan answered, arching an eyebrow at him. Can we see one of those? Well, I don't have any of them on me at the moment. So you drew up several contracts, but you only brought the one for if the Lowells didn't make the list? Chad and Carter didn't answer. Evelyn pushed the contract away and slowly stood up. Gentlemen, I fear there is something fishy going on here. Chad's face turned red. Oh, what does it matter how many contracts we drew up or when? Nothing has changed. The Lowell Corporation isn't on the list. You're going to lose the backing of the Quinn organization, and your whole company is about to go bankrupt. So sign the contract right now, or the deal is off. Evelyn hung her head. The rest of the Lowells did the same. Mary looked over to Ryan. What do we do? Ryan's phone pinged with a text. Carter and Chad's phones also pinged. Perfect timing, Ryan said. He pulled out his phone and tapped up on his message. What is this? Carter asked. What are you looking at? The list. Chad and Carter exchanged another nervous glance, then turned their phones and read the incoming text. Whoa. Why is someone sending us the list? Yeah, Chad added. It's not like anything's going to change. Oh, I'm sorry, gentlemen, Ryan said then. This is the actual list from the investigators themselves. One that was sent to the Quinn organization on Monday. Oh, and looky here. The Lowell Corporation is on it. What? Martha yelled. Almost gathered around Ryan's required. Harry pointed and screamed. There it is. Corporation. It says right there. Chad saw the Lowell Corporation listed on his phone. What are you trying to pull, Ryan? What is this supposed list that we're reading? How did you get this? It's the craziest thing, Ryan said. I was downstairs in the VIP lounge just now. Carter interrupted him. How did you get into the VIP lounge? The kids. Doesn't matter. The point is, I was down. Who do I bump into but Wentworth De Silva? You gentlemen know who Wentworth De Silva is, right? You should. He's the one who sent you the text just now. Chad and Carter didn't answer. Anyway, Wentworth and I struck up a conversation, and I mentioned how strange it was that the Lowell Corporation didn't make the list. Wentworth thought it was strange too, so he agreed to look into it. He said he'd text me if he found anything out of the ordinary. Ryan waggled the phone in front of their faces. This looks pretty out of the ordinary. What would you say, boys? The Lowells faced off with Chad Baker and Andrew Carter. Evelyn slowly picked up her copy of the contract and tore it in two.
Access key detected. Also, control point nearby.
One by one, every member of the Lowell family picked up the copy of the contract that had been given to them by Chad Baker and Andrew Carter and ripped it up. You're all making a big mistake, Andrew Carter told them. No, you made the mistake, Andy, Ryan said. I don't know who you bribed to alter that list before it was presented tonight, but consider it money down the drain. Not only is no one signing anything here, but the truth will come out Monday morning that the Lowell Corporation was on that list the whole time. You'll be exposed as frauds. Carter smiled at him. Exposed? What proof do you have that Chad or I did anything? Ryan didn't answer. Exactly. You've got nothing, Ryan. Nothing but a hunch. Maybe. But you still don't get your hands on the Lowell Corporation. So who's the one walking away with nothing? Chad took Carter by the arm. Come on, Andrew. It's time for us to go. Chad and Carter gathered their belongings and walked out of the conference room. Ryan clapped his hands together and said, "Well, folks, that's all for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the evening's entertainment." Mary stared at him wide-eyed and shook her head. "How did you do it? How did you get in here? How did you figure out what those guys were up to?" "Yeah," Martha said. "And what took you so long? We almost signed away the entire company while you were waiting to make your dramatic entrance." Mary and her sister Carrie rolled their eyes. "You're welcome, Martha," Ryan said. Martha snorted and walked out of the conference room. Evelyn glided up to Ryan and stared at him for a beat. Then she extended her hand. "I misjudged you, Ryan. Thank you for saving my company." Ryan took Evelyn's hand and kissed it. "Don't mention it," he said, giving her a wink. Evelyn blushed. "Come on, Wallace. We're leaving." She stepped out of the room. Wallace gave Ryan a hard glare, then followed his grandma Evelyn. Charles clapped his hand on Ryan's shoulder and nodded at him. Ryan nodded back, and everyone headed out. When they got outside of the King's Club, Ryan spotted Michelle and Constance Yang standing behind the velvet ropes of the entranceway. "Would you excuse me for a moment?" he said. He walked over to the Yang sisters. "What's up, guys?" "We've done a full sweep of the perimeter, sir," Michelle said. "We weren't able to detect any threats against you." Ryan flashed a look of surprise. "Really? I distinctly overheard a couple of unfriendly voices saying someone was waiting out here to take care of me. We can do another sweep, if you like." No, I trust you. If you say there's no one out here, then there's no one out here. Don't waste your time. Not at all, sir. We're here anytime you need us. The Yangs turned and headed back to their vehicle. Mary walked over to Ryan. "Everything okay?" "Yeah, apparently so. Also,
I hear you.
come on, let's get you guys home." Ryan gave the valet his ticket. A couple of minutes later, they were on their way back to Wellesley.
Reloading!
Andrew Carter and Chad Baker walked through the valet parking lot, scanning the cars. "There," Baker said, pointing. "That's his car." They approached the vehicle and looked through the window. Someone was in the back seat. The person appeared to be passed out. Carter rolled his eyes. Just perfect. He banged on the window. The man inside sat up and looked around in a panic. It was Hugh Zimmer. Carter motioned.
Clearing out! How the hell?
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Worst timing! Who's that over there? We've got to secure the position. What the? Take that! Throwing frag! Hit their flank! Yeah, winged him!
Hey, Andrew. Hey, Chad. You said. Chad looked at him like he was crazy.
Moving around the
Hey.
side.
That's what you have to say for yourself? Hey?
Gonna be in a bad spot here.
You rubbed his eyes and tried to get his bearings. What happened? You tell us, Carter answered. You were supposed to kill Ryan Quinn before he could figure out a way to get inside the club. What happened, Hugh? How did you let him get away? I'll tell you, Chad said. He's drunk. I told you we couldn't rely on him. Carter ignored Chad's comment. Well, Hugh, we're waiting for an answer. You stumbled out of the car and took a breath, hoping the fresh air would rip up a bit. Let's see. I waited outside for Ryan. Trying to get inside the club. Then this guy in a tuxedo brought him around to the back. I was about to walk up and, you know, but then Ryan stepped away from the door and started.
We shot him!
They thought we'd be an easy target. Not
Supply room access unlocked.
Chargers in the block.
I have got a lot of people coming home tonight because of you. Thank you, Agent. Do a sweep, secure the area.
Civilians in danger.
Our supplies are running out. We could use some help. Thanks, Agent. I don't know if we'll have room for any more supplies after this. God, watch duty is boring. Thanks for your help. We should be good for a while.
Civilians in distress.
Oh, my nigga up here though. I think I stabbed one of my nigga yesterday. Not even yesterday, last night. I'll be okay. start telling people to stay the fuck out there. Like, go around there, mind your business, go around there and shit. Sometimes niggas don't know. They can't know.
I'm reloading! Flanking now! Target down!
Request.
Grenade out!
Incoming hostiles detected.
Can't see for shit! Get back! Oh, for fuck's sake! Trying to surround us! I'm going for their flank!
E.
He's gone for cover! Go for that car! Trying to surround us! Fuck! We just lost someone! Deploying frag! More targets! Incoming! Flank! Sweet Jesus!
Immediate medical assistance needed.
I don't have line of sight! Flanking now! Frag out! Tango down! He's on me! No! Flank and engage! Nothing to see here.
Flanking now!
Civilians in danger.
Check every corner!
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
There you are!
Get them away from me!
Throwing a frag.
Opening fire! He's flanking! Cover the target! I'm reloading!
Now, everyone knows we mean business.
It's too quiet.
Leave that one to me! We got TIC!
Changing mags!
Detected. Friendly control point in proximity.
Stay back. You hear me?
Flank has been engaged. Target near you.
Always happy to let the division help out.
Let's go.
Flank! Get round him! Spotted. I'm reloading! They're in here! Take her down! Flank is close! Firing fuck! Target. Nice. There's no hiding from us! That's your target. I need a fresh mag! Target spotted. Yeah!
Let's get the job done. Grenade!
Changing mag! Fuck this!
From the side.
Target down. Good job. Looks like you earned yourself another bounty. Well done.
Okay, man. Well, I put that in there. I got to get in for one. I appreciate your watching. Like always, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Do what you want to do, man. I appreciate whatever you guys do to the channel. I may talk to you later. I may not talk to you later. I may drop a video later. I may not drop a video later. You can, if I'm busy. Well, like again, appreciate you guys always for watching. I gotta go work out and get ready for work. So I'll talk to you later. Maybe when I get time, I'll make a story video today. We'll see them. Well, again, once again, thank you, and hope everybody have a blessed and wonderful day. I give me the darkness at the end of the video. Hold on. Yeah, the end of the video right by this nigga. I hope everybody have a blessed and wonderful day, you know.